Hey everyone, welcome back to Bill's Retro Gaming Show, and I am back today to give you some more retro gaming news, some different things that have come up this past week. And yes, my voice is still a little bit squeaky, still a little bit scratchy, still dealing with this COVID thing, but getting better and wanting to just have some semblance of normal and put out some more videos, all right? So I'm going to run through this stuff for you, and let's just start with some new games released for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. And this Friday, Nintendo Switch dropped 3 new Genesis games for the expansion pack for us. And we kind of knew that some Genesis games were up and coming. We got word that there was going to be maintenance to the system. And then, boom, we got these 3 games, starting with Shining Force 2, which is a tactical RPG and a sequel to the original Shining Force. Although the storylines are not connected to each other. It is a similar tactical RPG play mechanic. Much bigger game, though. This was originally released, I believe, in 1993, and it is available now on the Switch Online. And then they gave us Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball, also came out in 1993, and this is basically a pinball game version of Sonic, where you basically just bat Sonic around the screen like he's a pinball. And yeah, it's a different take on a Sonic game, but kind of cute, kind of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. And then finally, we got the 1983 arcade classic Space Harrier 2. Space Harrier is, like I said, an arcade game that was actually one of the earlier games, I believe, released for the Mega Drive Genesis back in the day. And I'm definitely excited to have this one. Always thought this was a fun game, and just looking forward to playing it. And there you have it. Those were 3 new games released for the expansion pack for Genesis. So on top of that, on top of those 3 Genesis games, we also got some interesting leaks this week saying that we may get more systems for the Switch Online. So let's check this out. So this is an article from Nintendo Life, and it says it looks like Nintendo Game Boy emulator for Switch Online just leaked. And last year, there were whispers that Nintendo was planning to bring Game Boy games to its Nintendo Switch Online subscription service to join the existing library of NES, SNES, Nintendo 64, and Genesis catalogs available as part of the expansion pack subscription tier. Now, a leak seems to provide evidence that Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games may be hitting the service soon. According to Trash Bandicoot on Twitter, files have been leaked onto 4chan, which includes a Nintendo-developed GBA emulator codenamed Sloop and a Game Boy emulator codenamed Hyoko, both developed by Nintendo of Europe's NERD, Nintendo European Research and Development. And was there ever a more perfect name for a company than NERD? I just love that. That's so awesome. Paris-based subsidiary responsible for much of the company's emulation efforts in recent years, including the emulators in the classic mini console and the N64 GameCube Wii emulation in Mario 3D All-Stars. And if we check out here, Trash Bandicoot's tweet, we get, so Nintendo official Game Boy Advance emulator for the Nintendo Switch just leaked. Now it's just a matter of waiting for NSO to add GBA. And if we blow this up, we can see some screenshots and some ideas on some of the games that they appear to be testing for the service, including Pokemon Pinball, Super Robot Taisen, Tactics Ogre, Mario Kart, Pokemon Trade, Golden Sun and Golden Sun Lost Age, Mr. Driller 2, Mario Brothers. So there's definitely some really cool ones on the list here of potentials. And then, of course, he's got another tweet with some screenshots from different games, including what looks like, I believe this is Game Boy, Mario Brothers Advance. You got some screen testing of Mario Kart. And looks like Yoshi's Island, which is another really cool game. So definitely be excited for this to show up. So yeah, so this is a look at the emulators here. The GBA one is called Sloop. The Z7 Arcade is called Hyoko, which is a Game Boy emulator, with all Game Boy games being separate applications. Emulators developed by NERD, and are both functional, albeit with a few bugs. And of course they show Super Mario Land in here, which would be a fantastic game to have on there. So yeah, guys, there you have it. Some rumors that we're going to be getting GBA and Game Boy games for the Switch Online. Now, a couple of things. First off, my guess is if they do come, they're probably going to come as part of the expansion pack, not as part of the original online, but I could be wrong about that. We'll just have to wait and see. And also, don't forget that a lot of this comes from 4chan, which is very hit or miss when it comes to these kind of rumors. More often than not, they're totally wrong, but this does have the ring of legit to it. So, fingers crossed on this one that we see some more information on this coming sooner rather than later. I have been very excited and impressed with the way that the online expansion has been going lately. Definitely was, a little bit slow starting when they first announced it, when it first came out. But we're getting a pretty steady stream of N64 games every month. Yeah, do I wish we'd get more than one a month? Yes, absolutely. But at least they seem to be consistent with it. Other games like these 3 Genesis games dropping from time to time. Again, be nice if we saw a more consistent rollout with that. And on top of that, there's all the added DLC for the expansion pack. Between the Mario Kart tracks that are going to continue to roll out throughout the year as part of the expansion pack. And now they've gone back and, well, I don't believe it's on the service yet, but it is coming soon. They are going to give Splatoon 2 DLC as part of the expansion pack, which is an older DLC. It's not a brand new DLC coming out. It's something that's been out already that they have retroactively decided to give as part of the expansion pack. Now, if you bought it in the past, does that mean maybe you can get a refund? Doubt it. But it is cool to see that they've gone back to older DLC, and it's not just new DLC that they're going to be adding. So there is hope and potential that maybe we'll see others show up on here. They've delayed Breath of the Wild 2. So could they potentially add the Breath of the Wild DLC packs to the expansion pack for people to kind of, keep the hype going on Breath of the Wild? So if you never bought the DLC, maybe you'll get access to it. Who knows? But keep my fingers crossed on that one as well, and we'll just continue to keep an eye on these things. So moving on to some more news from earlier this week, and I'm just going to touch on this real quick because I already did a video on this. I will link to it in the description below so you can check it out. But we do have some look at some new arcade machines from Arcade1up from a UK retailer called games.co.uk. And if you go to their website right now, like I said, game.co.uk, you will be able to see these new machines that are up for pre-order and supposedly coming sometime this summer, at least coming to the UK in the summer. When they're coming in the US, we're not sure yet. But like I said, I already did a video on this, so I am not going to go deep into this. I'm just going to touch on this real quick and show you the 4 machines that are up right now, and they are the Pac-Man and Mortal Kombat Collectorcades, which are 13-inch replicas of the arcade machines, or actually, I should say, they are replicas of the Arcade1up machines, not the original arcade machines. And of course, they do play, have 3 games each on them. The Pac-Man one being Pac-Man Galaga and Galaxian, and the Mortal Kombat one being Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And then, of course, you've got this Pac-Man Galaga head-to-head countercade, which plays 6 different games, 3 Pac-Man games and 3 Galaga Galaxian-related games. And finally, you've got this Pac-Man 5-in-1 countercade, which is a update, refresh of other Pac-Man countercades that they have released in the past with some new game lineups to it. So yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to touch base on that again because that is news that came out earlier this week. And like I said, I will have a link in the description below to my video going over the Collectorcades and the Countercades, so be sure to check that out. And finally, we have some more news on IIRcade, including 2 new games that they have released for the service. And first up, we have Twin Cobra, which I know is a game that a lot of people have been waiting for and excited to see show up on the IIRcade. Twin Cobra is a top-down vertical shooter from Toplan where you and a buddy can play together in these helicopters fighting and shooting around, and it is basically a sequel to the '85 arcade game Tiger Healy. Here you control the attack helicopters, fighting endless waves of military vehicles while avoiding collision with their projectiles and other obstacles. This is the 4th shoot-'em-up game from Toplan, and it was their 10th video game overall. Next up, we have a game that I am super excited for, and this is Elevator Action Returns. This was a 1994 run-and-gun style arcade game developed and published by Taito. It is the sequel to the original elevator action, but features a more gritty and realistic setting. Return retains the elevator-based gimmick from the original, but expands the gameplay system and replaces the spy motif with a scenario involving a paramilitary team fighting against a terrorist group. This one was pretty cool because you could actually play 2 players simultaneously on it and fight together. Definitely, more intense than the original. A storyline involved, different types of buildings that you go into and play against, and I absolutely love this game. I think this game is a ton of fun, and once I get my IIRcade, I am looking forward to adding this one to my list of games for sure. Now, one thing on this game, that they did not include leaderboards. They said that they couldn't do it, at least initially. There were some issues with the way that this game handles scoring, but they are looking into it, so there is potential for leaderboards on this game in the future. So also from IIRcade, they have recently made a firmware update to their system, and part of that firmware update, along with online play, which we'll talk about in a second, is some accessibility settings. Basically what they have done is they have added an auto fire routine to 30 different games on their system. Here is the list of games that have that feature right now. And basically what this does is this allows you to, instead of having to spam the fire button and just pop, 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 keep hitting it to fire, you can hold the button down and it will auto fire for you. And the reason they did this is, as the thing suggests with accessibility settings, to make it easier for people to play who maybe are a little arthritic, who can't stand there and just keep hitting a button over and over again, to make the games more fun, more accessible, without feeling like you're missing out on some of these games because your hands don't have that ability to do that. So they've added this feature to make that better, and let's just say for some of us who are a little bit older, who are getting a little arthritic or carpal tunnel from all the years of whatever else we've done and all the other games we've played, it is definitely a welcome feature. That is for sure. And speaking of online, for the IIRcade, they have released 5 more games available to play online as part of their online alpha right now. And again, they've been stressing it. I will say it too. It is an alpha, so it is definitely I wouldn't even say wet behind the ears. It is dripping behind the ears for sure. But hey, it's I look at it this way. It is a good thing that they're doing it this way and just trying to get as much info out of the user base as possible to make it a good service for you guys. So, kudos for that for sure. But let's just take a quick look here at the new games that they have announced for the online service. And they are the Fighter Breaker's Revenge, the top-down shooter Dogyun, the basketball game Street Hoops, the side-scrolling beat-em-up Knuckle Bash, and the futuristic sports game Heavy Smash. So these 5 games are now available for you to play online with your friends. So definitely check that out, all right? And that's all I have this week for retro gaming news. I am going to stop there before my voice gives out completely. But guys, let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you are excited for those Genesis games on Switch. What do you think about the possibility of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games coming to the Switch online? I mean, for one, I'm definitely excited about that. So again, I hope we find out more information sooner rather than later. Maybe even by their June Direct, we will find out more. The Collectorcades and the Countercades we've discussed already, but you can continue to let me know your your wonderful thoughts on those as well. And again, with the IIRcade, do you like the games they released? What do you think of Twin Cobra? What do you think of Elevator Action Returns? Or if you own an IIRcade system, are either of these games that you are excited to be able to play on there? What about the online games that they've announced? Have you been doing the online? Have you been playing it with people? And what do you think so far? All right, but that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you are subscribed to the service, thank you. I definitely appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance yet, go ahead and click that subscription button. Click the notification bell every time you want to be notified whenever I put out a new video. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it if you want, wherever you feel it's appropriate. And as always, I will see you again in the near future. So take care, guys, and have a great day. See ya.